Hunt the beast that is hunting you. I'm Wright Brennan. This is the Lost in the Midlands podcast, sponsored by C. Wright Roofing. And today I'm fired up to have a special guest on. We have an entrepreneur. He is a martial artist. He's a philanthropist, social media figure, 24-year law enforcement veteran, 13-year Marine veteran. He's the owner of the Warrior Warehouse, and he's the leader of the Beast Mode Killers. Lance Adams, thanks so much for coming on today, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's always a pleasure. I've heard a lot about your podcast, and I am stoked about being on here today.
Well, first I want to say thanks for your service. I mean, my gosh, you've done so much selfless service in the past already, and you're still doing so much.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, I feel that my life is dedicated, everything I went through is dedicated towards the service of people. And so that's what I feel that God put me here for, and that's what I'm doing.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey, kind of like the beginning stages, and, you know, we can dive into, you know, what you got going on now. But I want to hear about kind of what's brought you to today. Like, where did you grow up?
Originally was born in Brooklyn, New York. Came down here when I was like 12 years old. My dad was NYPD.
Wow.
My mother was working in the hospital at the time. She's originally from Beaufort, South Carolina. So how that meeting happened, don't know. They were from two different ends of the country.
Okay.
But my dad wanted a better life for his kids, and in Brooklyn, it was kind of rough at that time.
When was that?
That was in the 80s.
80s.
Uh-huh. That was in the 80s. So it was just a lot going on. That's when pandemics of drugs and stuff really was hitting the streets.
Yeah.
So he wanted something better for his kids. So without really a lot of preparation, he moved down here, found a little mill house down in Aiken, South Carolina, to where they're still at now, and that's how I got down here.
Wow. And you grew up in that area, went to school in Aiken, is that how?
Yes, I grew up in Aiken, South Carolina, went to Midland Valley High School, cool. And grew up down that way, and then that's kind of where my journey for everything actually started. You know, with me, I know you asked the question about how did my journey begin.
Yeah.
My journey began with fear. I was the first, I'm one of my father's first biological son. I have another brother, you know, who's my oldest brother, but I'm my first biological son. So naturally, with coming from Brooklyn, New York, and coming down here, it was my dad did it for protection of his family.
Yeah.
So he wanted to protect us. So there was a lot of stuff that he didn't allow us to do.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't go this place, you couldn't go that place, whatever case may be. You know, I had to try to sneak and play football because he didn't want you to get hurt. You know, the only thing he allowed me to do was like be in ROTC and play basketball.
Oh, wow.
And things of that nature. So I started feeling, if I could, you know, I didn't feel like I was being growing up like I felt that I needed to as a young man. I wanted the knockdown and the drag downs and the stuff like that, and to be able to tell people, hey, I got my my wrist sprained because I was playing football or things like that. So yeah. I wanted those things, and I just felt that if I didn't do those things and conquer those fears that I had,
yeah.
that as I got older, that was going to be something that was going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, gosh, the story of manhood right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right back to that quote, you know, that beast that, you know, got
exactly.
That is really interesting. Okay, so and then after high school, did you feel the need to like serve the country, or was that a little bit further down the line when you were in the Marines?
Absolutely. I actually joined the Marine Corps my 12th grade year of high school. I was in ROTC, and like I said, my parents are still alive and doing well. And I grew up in a good environment, but being a cop's kid was like the equivalent of being a preacher's kid. So I started getting in trouble. I started hanging out, started hanging out with the wrong crew and stuff like that. And then at right around 16 years old, I got shot. You know, just hanging out it wasn't nothing life-threatening, but I realized that bullets hurt.
Yeah, wow.
I realized also that when Tupac said on his rap song, I took 5 and I smiled, I wasn't smiling. And I realized that I had to do something different. So my ROTC instructor, I really love the discipline of ROTC.
Yeah.
I love the fact about, you know, the unity and you wearing the uniform and the honor you felt. So he told me about going into the military. So naturally I said, if I'm going to do this journey, I want to do the hardest one that's out there. So at that point in time, I said, I'm going to join the Marine Corps. And that's what I did. So my whole 12th grade year of school, I joined the delayed entry program. I was in the Marine Corps my whole 12th grade year. My birthday's on June 3rd. I graduated. By June 5th, I was in Parris Island, South Carolina, going through Marine Corps recruit training.
Definitely a pattern in your life. Like you want the tough stuff, and
Right.
that's what you signed up for. And you continued that for 13 years.
I did 4 years active, and the rest I did reserve work. And then I figured I love the uniform. I never thought that I would want to pursue law enforcement.
Yeah.
I seen my dad do it. I seen how he came home sometimes stressed out. And then on top of that, I was kind of like I would say a fake ex-knucklehead. So we was kind of like running from the cops and things of that nature. But then after being in the uniform, I said, I love this. I love the fact about serving. I love the fact about honor, discipline, kind of the esprit de corps. So it learned me into law enforcement. So I started working in the South Carolina Department of Corrections in Allendale. I did that for 2.5 years. And then at the same time, I wanted one of the hardest institutions, which was Allendale at that time. And then after that, I said, okay, I want to be a state trooper.
Yeah.
So I became a state trooper, went through the 20-week academy there and was stationed in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Then from there, did 10 years there, then 10 years at Richland County Sheriff's Department, 4 years with City of Columbia, and then God brought it on my heart that all the experiences that I had, I need to put this into effect with the community.
Yeah.
And even with my martial arts training, I started that when I was 14. And I did that for the same thing, for those fears that I had all throughout my life. And I started off just kind of doing stuff for the community, raking leaves. I worked at an old country radio station in Aiken just to make money to pay for my first month's tuition. And then when my friend's father found out that I was doing that, we didn't have a lot of money. So my dad really couldn't afford it. We was on a one-income household. So once my friend's father found out about it, he said, I see you serious about this. If you pay for a month, I'll pay for the next month. And it keep on going like that. So I started out at Andy Watford Karate School in Aiken, South Carolina. Yeah. And then that started my journey of martial arts and MMA and things of that nature, which is what I'm still doing today.
This is Wright Brennan, the owner of C. Wright Roofing. When it comes to the maintenance of your roof, you want to know that you have an experienced team that knows what they're doing. And with 10 years in the business, we check all the boxes. Leaky roof, storm damage, or just overdue on maintenance, give us a call at 803-828-4181 for a free estimate. Again, that's 803-828-4181. And remember, our commitment is to roof it the right way. All right, so yeah, I want to ask you about your gym and like what's going on right now. Well, first, like, when did you decide to open that gym? I mean, was that just like how did that happen?
Once I got in them, I never really had when I was taking martial arts, my whole thing was just to be as formidable as possible. I didn't want to feel fear. I didn't want to be scared or anything of that nature. But then as I started getting into it, I was like, I want to share this. I want to share this with people. So as I was training there, I trained in multiple martial arts, and I was training with my jiu-jitsu coach, which is not too far from here, Palmetto Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Yeah. And I told my instructor, I said, I want to start teaching. And he gave me the blessing to do it. So I went and told my wife, I said, listen, I want to start teaching. This was in 2004. And I told her, she said, okay, well, if you want to do that, I support you. She didn't know I was talking about immediately. So I started teaching, and then I went with I started out with Richland County Parks and Recreation. Yeah. I was working as a cop at the time, and I went to them, and actually they had any space for me to teach, like how they do at the local YMCA. Oh, yeah. And they said they did. So from the time that I told my wife I was going to start teaching, I started teaching 2 weeks later. It had a full program, and that was in 2004, and I've been doing that ever since up to this date.
And at the Warrior Warehouse now, you're still teaching martial arts?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So what are you teaching there?
So at the Warrior Warehouse is a full-service MMA, boxing, and fitness facility. So on our fight side, we teach boxing, we teach kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, sambo, and then real-world self-defense. We train a lot of law enforcement, a lot of military, a lot of security, because of my background and what we did. And then on the other side, we have full fitness, strength and conditioning training. Just kind of, we built into a one-stop shop. What started out as a place that we was in a room, maybe only twice the size of this podcast room.
Yeah, wow.
And that grew into a 9,000 square foot facility in Northeast Columbia.
Yeah. Yeah, what an awesome facility it is. And you've even got a team in there who's competing. Is that correct?
I do. We started, like I said, we started an MMA, kickboxing, and grappling team, and the team is called Team Beast Mode Killers.
Yeah.
Team Beast Mode Killers. So we travel, we compete, we go all around, the country and compete in MMA, boxing, and things like that. And not just our adults, but also some of our kids.
That is fantastic. And during this, journey of yours, you also started Boxing Before Bars. Tell me about this initiative.
That is one of my flagship programs that I created. It's been in existence for about at least 10 years.
Wow.
But recently, I'm a very big believer in God and Jesus Christ, and I believe in Him telling us stuff that we need to do. So 24 years in law enforcement, 25 to retire. God told me that time at the year shy retirement, it was time to leave and do what I needed to do. So the Boxing Before Bars program came into fruition. I was doing a career fair at Alcorn Middle School. And so the school came out and told us to come and set some stuff up. So I came out, I bought the boxing gloves and things like that. Well, naturally, this middle school.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, I was actually working with the gang unit and the youth services division with the police department. So as I bought the stuff and the kids start coming in, they started flocking and running to the table, picking up the boxing gloves, things of that nature. And the principal was looking, and she was like, wow, why are these kids running over here to your table? There's a lot of other organizations and businesses here. Why they run over to yours? And I just told her, I said, well, the thing about it is that unfortunately that certain times kids, they actually gravitate towards violence or what they think is violence. Fighting, and a lot of time in this day and age, culturally to them, it actually shows strength or power. Yeah. So that's what can you teach me how to fight? Can you teach me how to box? Can you teach me how to knock somebody out? These are the things that's going. So right to that epiphany, I said, but all the stuff that's going up, the kids out here, you turn on the news every day, you're hearing about kids getting shot and killed. You hear about kids getting locked up. You hear about, just kids who are out there who are extreme introverts and don't have nothing to bring them out their shell. Yeah. So I said, why not use this as a hook, Boxing Before Bars, and use it as a full-service mentoring and youth diversion program so that parents and organizations can have somewhere to funnel their kids through and have an option and have an alternative so that these kids don't go down the wrong road. And I'm just talking about the gang member on the corner. I'm talking about any young man, regardless of race, nationality, ethnicity, that needs help. And parents who have kind of maybe need some help in veering their kids in the right direction.
Yeah, wow, what an impressive program. So much of what you talk about kind of just points to, you seem like you're just a natural leader. Leader of people. You've been in these roles. You've had all these experiences. And even with this one, mentoring young people and then taking it to the next level and mentoring the parents to show them how to lead themselves. So cool. So cool. I want to ask you a couple, like if somebody wants to get involved with that, how do they go about doing? Like if they hear that, like that's what I need, where do they go?
Well, they can contact me directly. First, they can call me because I'm very big into talking to people one-on-one. Yeah. So my number is 803-569-7885. Again, 803-569-7885. Or they could go to my website which is called my BMK360, which my Boxing Before Bars is underneath. And they could go to BMK360.com. They can see the Boxing Before Bars program listed there, and they can contact me there at the same number or via email.
And this is for anybody. This is for not just the people who want the Boxing Before Bars. You're open, like if somebody here is saying, look, I actually just want to get in shape, they can reach out to you and you can point them in the right direction.
Absolutely. And that's the Faster the Warrior Warehouse. That is like the gym portion of it. Anybody, any age. We have people in there who are, from age 5 to 75. My oldest person there is 77 years old. We have individuals that come there and train there who is in wheelchairs, people who've been told, you're not going to be able to run again. You're not going to be able to walk again. You're going to be on medication for the rest of your life. It is a life-changing facility. Women who have been, assaulted, kids who have been assaulted, kids who just have been through a rough life, or your average everyday soccer mom or soccer family that say, I want to come in and I want to train, I want to get in better shape, I want to learn self-defense, or I want to get into competition training. It's for everyone.
Yeah, one of the cool things about your gym, I follow you guys on social media. Great social media channel to check out. You'll have the team that's like, getting ready to compete in a fight, and then you'll have kids class and women's class and men, like just all different types of other classes. People who not necessarily, want to step in the ring, they just want to improve themselves.
Absolutely, and that's actually 90% of the population at the facility. There's maybe 2% of the gym that actually go out here and compete.
Yeah.
Most people who I talk to, they're just looking at a different way of getting in shape. They're kind of tired of the average regular gym type thing. Some of them just want to hit something because they've been stressed out at work all day, and somewhere that they can have their kids that can, do something positive in whatever case may be.
What advice would you give to somebody out there feeling scared? Young man who's got that fear. I mean, what a relatable thing. What can you tell them?
Hunt the beast that is hunting you. And what that means is that the beast, when it comes to hunt the beast that is hunting you, the beast represent the fears. And a lot of time, I like to equate it this way. What I would tell that person is, I like to equate it that you are in a jungle, somewhere in the plains of Africa or something like that, and all of a sudden it's dark, and you hear the woods rustle, and all of a sudden you see a 5,000-pound lion. Well, the first thing that somebody's going to do is they're going to start running, because that's the fear. They're running from that lion. They don't want to get devoured. They don't want to get eaten. They don't want to get dispatched of. So after running, they finally figure out, I'm tired of running. I'm tired of running. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop dead in my tracks. I'm going to pick up this spear, and I'm going to turn and face this fear now. I'm going to be the hunter. I'm no longer going to be the prey. I'm going to be the predator. So that's where it kind of come, hunt the beast that is hunting you. So I would tell a person, it's not as easy, but the thing about it is that if you can expend so much energy running from your fears, you can expend the same amount of energy and use that same energy from running in order to solving the problem. So the thing about it is figuring out what the problem is. Why, first of all, are you fearful of it? Why, first of all, are you scared of it?
Yeah.
And go right after it. We have many people that will come in the Warrior Warehouse, and the first thing they say, well, I'm afraid to get hit in my face. With nobody, don't they want to get hit in the face. So what do? You just don't put them in the ring and say, well, hit me in the face. You got to walk them through how to move, how to take a little off the blow, figure out how to be able to duck your chin into your chest, give them your forehead. And eventually it starts resonating with them. Okay, this isn't as bad, even though I still don't want to get hit, but now I know how to do it. And that's the same thing in life. Nobody really wants to get just hit. But when you know how to get hit, then you know how to get up.
Yeah. Wow. What an awesome facility and message that is. You got some cool stuff.
You.
All right, I want a couple rapid fire questions.
Absolutely.
All right, who's your favorite fighter of all time?
My favorite fighter of all time, I have to say, is Mike Tyson.
Favorite submission?
Favorite submission? Oh, it would be John Jones against Lyoto Machida when he had him against the cage in a guillotine choke.
What's your what upcoming fighter are you most looking forward to seeing?
Right now, I am looking at Bo Nickel. I'm sorry. He was a collegiate wrestler standout, and a lot of time with a lot of wrestlers, they always say they're more of a grappler, but he's been proven himself as actually having hands and knocking people out. So he's quickly going up the ranks. He's young and he's hungry. So that's one of the ones right now who I love, who's an upcoming fighter.
Fantastic. And what's the best place to eat up on the northeast side?
Anakaya Sushi Restaurant. I am a sushi head to my heart. Anakaya right there in O'Neill Court, right near the DMV and things like that. It is absolutely amazing. I've been going there now probably for about a good 12 years. And they know me by heart.
Hey, look, When you walk in, you're hard to miss, man. Everybody knows this guy. All right, fantastic. Hey, thanks so much for coming on. It's been awesome hearing about all the amazing stuff you got going on.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate the work you're doing in the community. Appreciate your service. You're the man. So thank you again.
I appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure, and definitely look for being here again.
Yes, sir. Hey everyone, many thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow and click the bell to stay up to date on future episodes, or click the link to watch another previous episode. Like, share, and please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback.